Hi, this is Peter Godinez with K80Y-TV, your ambassador. We're here at the Tomas Cafe. I wish there was a way you could smell the aroma of the breakfast. Is making me very hungry. But we have an exciting show for you today, and we're going to start off with something very special. Somebody dear to my heart, a mentor and my coach, a friend, and that is the founder and the wonderful person of Bob Allen. So if I could have Bob Allen, give him applause wherever you are right now.
Hey, Peter.
Come on board.
What a pleasure to be here. Hopefully this is the start of something really, really good.
I think we've already started.
And good. It's something that 6 years ago, when something occurred, I won't go into all the details, but I saw something bad happen and every media was here. I saw something good happen and nobody was there. And that was when I started KDTV.com. This would have been 6 years ago. Well, over 6 years ago.
Wow. I bet it's been quite a journey for you.
That's another show in itself.
That documentary.
That is another show in itself, but one that really has some good things to talk about, okay? So let's get up to the present and why we're here today.
Yes, very appropriate.
I was an active board member of Fort Union Oxnard Boys and Girls Club when the merger took place. And I know I've been a Boys Club member for a long, long time. So yesterday we're doing something with the Boys and Girls Club, and I stopped over and found out that we have 3 teenagers from the Oxnard Boys and Girls, Oxnard Fort Union Boys and Girls Club, that are down in Brazil at the World Cup, that are going to be flag bearers this week.
That is hot news that everybody should know about, Bob.
You know, and what I did yesterday was take a survey of how many people did not know about it, okay? And I probably asked about 40 or 50 people, and believe it or not, only 4 out of those 40 people heard that we had some kids down there, and it just bothered me. So as you and I have been talking a long time about how do we get local news out to the community, and this is what Good Morning Oxnard is all about. Let's try and do it so that we can do a beta test here in the largest city in Ventura County, and maybe that becomes the place that everybody else will go to. So hopefully what we're going to do, we're at Thomas's Cafe in downtown Oxnard. We'll try and do this on a weekly basis, and we'll rotate from some of the other restaurants. Fresh and Easy, BG's, which goes back and has history in this town, that's unbelievable. So we hope we're not boring everybody. We have some pretty nice people that are going to be coming through here. And in fact, one of the areas to help promote the downtown area is the Downtown Oxnard Business Association. And we have the assistant director here this morning. And we'll talk about really what's going on, hopefully in a very, very positive light in downtown Oxnard. So rather than seeing me on camera, I think Elizabeth Woeful is going to be much, much nicer for you to talk to. So let me get up. Why don't you share your few moments about what you're going to try and accomplish as host of this show.
Okay. No,
all right?
That's very good.
And by the way, thanks a bunch for doing it.
You're very welcome. It's my pleasure. Well, that was putting me on the spot, but I'm good at impromptu. But I really enjoy the term ambassador, because ambassador basically means so many things to me. Ambassador of community, ambassador of business, ambassador of education. The list goes on. And so with this show, I really hope that, as Bob says, that we get the positive news out of all the wonderful things that are happening in this community of Oxnard. And I think Bob, I'm not sure if he says it, if it bleeds, we don't show it, because there's too much of that going on, and just too many wonderful things actually taking place. and they're missing out. And I think that's a part of something that I think all people, call it your mind, your spirit, your soul, that you really need in these days and times. So I'm hoping that we can value our diversity we have in this community. I'm hoping we can have all hands on deck. I'm hoping that we can get people on opposite ends of the spectrum closer together to at least agree on certain matters, and we can move forward and just make this community a better world, and that Oxnard community would be a beacon, and this is my dream, for the rest of the global society. So with that, I hope you found that interesting. So we live in the United States of entertainment. It's a sin to be boring. So with that, I'm going to bring up Aaron.
No, there's Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, I'm sorry. You know, Elizabeth, I'm so sorry. Your name wasn't on the list, and Peter, nice to meet you. And I think I've met you before, but then again, you know, you're just one of those celebrities. You have one of those faces. Maybe I saw you on a big poster board and everything. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? And I know there'll be a lot of activity going on here, but if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself and your passion and what you're trying to accomplish.
Okay, well, I am the program coordinator for the Oxnard Downtown Management District. And so what I get to do every day in my job is do some fun stuff for Oxnard. So you see the food truck event that happens once a month, the gourmet food truck, that's put on by the Oxnard Downtown. We're a big part of almost everything that you see happening, you know, in this part of town, which is really the heart of the city. We've got City Hall, we've got a wonderful library, we've got some wonderful restaurants, you know, the history, museums, and a wonderful park, a movie theater. And it's, I would say my job's a lot of fun. So
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Coming to work is a lot of fun. And being a part of things like the Christmas parade and the Christmas events, and we have a holly trolley that we get to do, and you get to hear directly from people how much that means to them over the years, and how they bring back their families for the summer concerts that we have, and really be in touch with everyone in Oxnard. So if you see my face, that's probably why.
I think that's what it is. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Now that's, with all this, it'd be interesting, very interesting person, but it's two questions. You know, who were the people in your lifetime who actually inspired you to be who I'm looking at right now, and maybe some experiences that actually caused you to go into the field of fun?
Of fun? Well, the biggest influence for me is my daughter. I will say, being a single mom, you know, you try to mix work and play and and really making an event fun for your daughter. I always think of, what is she going to want to see from this? Am I being, you know, she's my biggest critic. So am I going to get my own daughter to enjoy this event? And she's a dreamer, you know, kids, they really give you these ideas. And ever since she was little, I just started thinking, you know, you're putting on a simple birthday party, you know, and I'd love to hear her ideas. I said, dream big. It's okay to, you know, just as big as you can. And she would come up with, you know, I want to be a princess, and today I want to feel like, you know, and she'd come up with these ideas. And I remember one time I was going to school up in Berkeley, it's where I studied, and she wanted, it was Valentine's Day, and she wanted to feel like she was on a ride. I don't know why, she just said she wanted everybody to feel this love. And I thought, well, I'm not sure how to pull that off, but what I did do was fill her room with balloons. So when the kids walked in, you know, there was just over the top, you know, balloons are fun.
Yeah, helium balloons are just blowing up.
Yeah, helium balloons, a little bit of everything.
Oh my
And
God.
it was wonderful, and her room was so festive. You know, the principal, everybody was coming in there just taking photos of it. We didn't even want to take it down. And at first, it was interesting because no one wanted to do it. They were too afraid, you know, considering an allergy. And of course, we checked all those things ahead of time. But yeah, and yeah, we made it vegetarian, and you know, with Jell-O, low fat. And you can do all these things in very creative ways. And sometimes the demands that get put on me are interesting, but I don't see them as stumbling blocks. I just see them as, you know, Yeah, okay.
Hurdles to jump over, okay.
Well, everything makes it unique, it takes shape, all these events take shape on their own, so I love to come in and be a part of those kinds of things.
Do you enjoy the reaction in the faces, like when your daughter saw that? How can you describe her face?
Well, when she said, she had that smile on her face, and she was able to walk around that day and, feel like her dream came true. I think nothing else really, everything else just goes away. All the work, all the sleepless nights, it all goes away. When you see that look on your kid's face. And so she's really driven me to want to keep my life fun and keep that reality check there. And then, of course, the other strong influence is probably my mother, who's just wonderful person. She has been involved in charity work her entire life, so she kind of brought me up in the business.
And she's still around in the area?
She was a teacher, she was involved in education, and so Oxnard School District, and recently retired, and just gave her whole entire life to kids, and just wanted to be a part of that. So that's how she brought us up. And because we were raised in Oxnard, we had strong ties to Oxnard. Being from, my father's from Angamacalito, Michoacan.
Right.
And so strong connections to this area. And that's how we came to live in Oxnard. And I mean, a lot of these old families when you're going around. I remember just renting our first home from the Yubetas. Just trying to remember the name.
Good memory.
Yeah, big influence in our lives, and just wonderful people there that have been close friends of the family. And you just have so many of those here. So I'm that little girl that grew up in Oxnard that everybody kind of knows and has always been in the background. But my generation, I think, is now becoming of age.
So I'm getting from you that how important it is to have people surrounding you who are very influential in a positive way. And you've listed a few of them, and I'm sure the list could go on. And that's probably a different show.
Oh, yeah.
But what do you think was the big experience that made you say, I'm gonna choose to go down this path?
Well, I think sometimes the path chooses you.
True. Good answer. Nobody else can use that answer, okay? If anybody gets any ideas, you can't use it.
So I wanted to be a doctor. So I studied medicine and, chemistry and science. And then it just seems like I've always fallen into the role of, I used to say I wanted to be a fundraiser for science. And I've always just fallen back into that role of being behind the scenes. And I think that's just what I'm good at. So, and I enjoy it. I enjoy making people happy.
You seem to have that anointing. And my final question, and thank you so much for taking the time to interview, but I always like to ask people, somebody comes up to you and says something to you, what's the favorite thing somebody can say to you that would just put a smile on your face and your heart? What would those words be?
I really enjoyed my time here.
All right.
I want to see this again.
I want to say I really enjoyed my time here. So I can see that worked out in you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're a person of significance.
Go get him, Elizabeth. And Peter, what we're going to try and do here is people are coming in. We're going to have roundtable discussions about some topics. But this is going to be a very big year in Oxnard politics.
Yes.
And a lot of the candidates we hope will come through, have a little discussion with us. And we have one here this morning, okay? Larry Stein is going to be running, I believe, for city council. Oh, I am sorry, he just informed me he's going to actually be running for mayor. So, Peter, let me introduce you to...
And that was the voice of our producer, Bob Allen, who will stay quiet on the set. And I am really looking forward to getting to know Larry here. I only met him yesterday, and he's quite a mystery to me, but that's going to be solved right now. So Larry, thank you so much for taking time. And breakfast, I assume, was good. I saw a smile on your face, and it was good.
It was special mushrooms in the omelet.
It's all good. It's all good. So the world wants to know you. So let's start from, where it all began, your background. Let's start there.
Well, I was born at a very young age.
Probably 0, right?
Yeah, something like that. I was born in Encino,
Encino.
Encino, so I'm a Valley boy. My father was in the aerospace business. So we moved from Encino to Arizona, back to LA, and then Connecticut. So I spent 20 years in Connecticut growing up, went to school in Ohio, and I became a computer programmer. Business brought me back to the West Coast, and I was programming computers, the industry changed, so I changed, became an accountant, and I started getting involved in politics and issues. In the early 90s, we were again in a severe drought situation. And I said, what the heck? This is going to spend $2 million or $3 million telling us we need to conserve water. Bear in mind, this was in the middle of a 3 year, we were 3 years in a drought. And so you want to spend $3 million to tell us that we're in a drought. I thought that was an outrageous sum of money. And that's what got me started in politics. And I started bringing up issues. For example, we had a gentleman who worked for the city by the name of Ben Wong. And he was designing systems for water. And he was with the utilities, with enterprise funds, and he's doing water. And talked about, treating our wastewater. And I said, well, that's a wonderful idea. If we start treating our wastewater, you might be coming in an exporter of wastewater. And that's quite viable, that's possible. We now have a great program, $100+ million, and the idea is to be able to treat our wastewater and put it back in the community. The problem is price point. Farmers can only spend so much money for water. And that's the nature of the business.
Right.
They can't afford $2,000 per acre foot for water. They can spend $100 or $200 per acre foot for water. That's high for them. So they can't afford to pay for great water because it's too expensive unless it's subsidized. And that's one of the issues, is if water's going to cost so much money and you need water, how much money should the community subsidize agricultural business so we can keep the farm jobs? The strawberry industry is a $300 million industry in this area.
Right.
And it's not just the crops, it's the people who pick the berries, who pack the berries, plant the berries. It's the companies that do the warehousing and the equipment and the fertilizer. It's not just the retail sales to the community and to the world. Did you realize that Oxnard Plain grows something like 12% of the berries in the world?
I did not know the percentage, but it was big.
Yeah, it's 12%. So it's a very big business and needs to be supported. If they don't have the water, they can't grow the berries, you can't hire the people, and be another Central Valley, where we have high unemployment rates and economic situations. So there needs to be solutions in place to see what can we do to make sure it's equitable for everybody. Now, the water should not be subsidized by the ratepayers of Oxnard, which is what's happening right now. I'm paying $2,000 per acre foot for water. My water bill is $30, well, my water portion of my bill is $30, so it's not a whole lot of money, but I don't use that much water.
Can I interrupt on this conversation for a minute?
Yeah.
This is the first pilot show. I think the discussions of what we're talking about right now, that deserves where we have people on both sides so we can have a discussion about it rather than, And since this is the first show, and not to rush you, Larry, we've got a couple of other people that we've invited. We want to make this into something that is in more of an introductory thing, and we're going to do your Meet the Candidate
I thought we
thing.
could do a round table.
Are we going to do the,
Well, yeah.
clarification, are we going to do this 1 o'clock today?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So we have somebody has some real exciting news that I heard about yesterday. So I don't mean to cut this short.
Do you want to just wrap this up now and then just take a minute?
With Larry, yeah, wrap it up. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't you make this closing statement? You're really good at that. And,
Well, I don't see a 3-minute life here, but the point is, I've been involved in the community for 20 years on different issues. And people are asking me to run for office because they like my viewpoints on fiscal issues and social issues. So I'm throwing my hat in the ring because I think I make a change. We're a vibrant community, and I want to participate more, and because being mayor for the city and bring forth ideas that are not being brought forth in this vibrant community.
So I consider you a game changer then.
I'm something.
I think so. That's the title, game changer. Thank you very much. I look forward to doing it at 1 o'clock and really getting to know why and how you got all this passion, okay?
Okay,
All right.
Nice
Thank
meeting you.
Good to see you. Long time.
And Peter, we're very privileged. We got something very special that we're going to tell an audience that I took a survey of yesterday, and less than 10% of the people in Oxnard knew about what we're about to hear now. So without further ado, I would like to introduce you to Erin Antrim, who is now literally going to be the director of the Oxnard Port Hueneme Boys and Girls Club till the new.
Good to meet you. Come on, Josie. I'm Peter.
Hi, Peter.
So nice to have you.
Thank you.
What a smile. I'm sure that's always on the case.
Most of the time.
So you're a person of importance here. I was going to say of interest, but that's a different type of term. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your passions and your directions and some of your goals?
I'm Erin Antrim. I've been with the Boys and Girls Club for the past 11 years. And our Chief Professional Officer, Tim Blaylock, is leaving June 30th. He's taking a job at the Boys and Girls Clubs of America.
Wow.
So
I know
to,
Tim.
to impact the lives of more children. And so I've been appointed interim executive director. I'm really excited because we're growing, and we serve 9,000 kids a day at the Boys and Girls Clubs in Oxnard and Port Hueneme, and we do great work. And you know, I've been on the ground floor developing a lot of those things, and so my passion really is serving kids who need it the most, and serving kids who have challenges in life, you know, who may have barriers to life in general. Kids that they don't have that, you know, automatic success. They're not born with that automatic success, and so we provide programs that model and mentor and teach, you know, what some life skills are, and good character and healthy lifestyles. And so it's my passion. It has been for, well, kids have always been my passion, but Boys and Girls Club has been my passion for the last 11 years.
Now, where did this passion for children, it always starts with mentors. Are there
Right.
people who actually influenced you in your life?
Yeah.
Tell me about those.
Without a doubt. A lot of my elementary school teachers, I was big into speech and debate, and so some of the speech and debate coaches, and my dad actually was a huge mentor in the Oxnard community. My dad is John Reardon. He's a longtime football coach at Real Mesa High School. So I saw the effect that my dad had on other children, you know, young adults, mostly, you know, boys that are either getting in trouble or not getting in trouble, and focusing them in the right direction. So he had a big impact in me choosing what I want to do in my life, and so I'm trying to follow in his footsteps.
Can you
But
do
he
like
has some big footsteps.
Can you do a halftime motivational speech if you're down by 15? Can you do that? I would love to hear that.
Yeah, I might even take some tips from him.
No, that's great. So
Yeah.
that he motivated you to do that,
Yes.
and then did you go to college in kind of formal education
I
to
did.
learn a little bit
I
about
went
it?
to San Diego State. Well, I went to community college here
Okay,
locally
smart,
first.
smart.
And then I went to San Diego State, and then I went got my bachelor's degree, and then I went to Calhoun for my master's degree.
Wow. So you got
All in education.
Yeah, the street education and
Yeah.
the formal
Yes.
education.
Yeah.
So what was the actual experience that actually said, you know, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to devote my life to children of a certain category, let's say. Not the richy rich kind of kids, but you know.
You know what I think it really was about? For me, it started with higher education. And I believe that education is a great equalizer. So for me, I wanted to help kids who were first generation college goers, kids whose parents maybe couldn't help them get into college. And that's why I started with the Boys and Girls Club, is to help kids access not only higher education, but employment. Because, you know, you read about gang activity, you read about things that are going on, and rather than just sit by and say, well, that's somebody else's community, or those aren't my kids, I wanted to come work here, and I wanted to be a part of the solution, rather than just complain about the problem.
So what kind of help do you think you need to make this happen?
Well, you know, we serve 9,000 kids a day. Our membership fee is only $20 a year. So
Really?
obviously it doesn't cost us $20.
That's the deal of the century.
Right, everyone's like $20 a day, $20 a month, no, $20 a year.
Wow.
And we don't turn anybody away. If people can't afford it, then, you know, we even scholarship the $20.
Wow.
But it costs about $500 to serve one kid a year. So we're always looking for the community's help in raising money and, you know, helping us with donations and helping us with volunteer time and those types of things.
No, that's good. That's really good. You know, let me ask you this. Maybe you never heard it in this fashion, but envision yourself 5, 10 years from now. Pick a time frame, and I'll say envision with me what this is going to look like, and really stretch it. And my favorite thing in education, envision with me children enjoying homework and complaining that they're not getting enough.
Yeah.
So for your particular environment, let's stretch what you want to see happen in what you're doing. Help me out.
And I've got a bold vision, and we've got a bold vision, and really that's all kids that come through the doors of the Boys and Girls Club graduate from high school, and that they have a plan for the future. That might not be college, that might be vocational school, it might be a job, but that they come through the doors of the Boys and Girls Club, they will graduate from high school, and they will have a plan.
Wow. So I just asked that question, let me be consistent. What would be the favorite word somebody walks up to you and says something and puts a smile on your face and your heart? What would those words be?
We've got a lot of money for the Boys and Girls Club to help the kids.
Well, Bob Allen's got a lot of money. No, he's kidding for the boys. Thank you so much
Sure.
for joining us on our show.
Sure.
And much success in guys.
Thank you. Did you guys want to talk about the Brazil opportunity?
You know what? This is your show. I did not know. I'm just a hard worker. So let's start with that. I didn't know. So go ahead.
So, about 2 months ago,
Okay.
we had 2 young people who, our national organization, Boys and Girls Clubs of America, set an opportunity for a couple of young people to apply for the trip of a lifetime, really, to go to Brazil to be United States flag bearers for the United States versus Germany game tomorrow. And so our kids applied, they wrote an essay about what they do in the community and about their leadership skills and about their involvement in healthy lifestyles within our teen center. You know, we have the only teen center in the county serving teens, so we've got a lot of great things going on there. And the young men wrote an essay along with one of our youth advisors, and they won a trip to Brazil. So they are in Brazil right now. Tomorrow they attend the United States versus Germany game. We're having a viewing party at our teen center at 9 o'clock in the morning, and hopefully we'll get to see our young men holding the United States flag, representing us really, really tight.
You know, I'm so sorry I missed that.
That's big.
You're a producer.
That gives me chills
I was
again.
finding out. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
no, that is exciting. And I'm
Right.
sure you know, Bob took a survey and you heard that thing. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up.
And these are 2 young men that, both of them have been on an airplane, but one of them through us, through another opportunity, through a Keystone Conference. These young men, they wouldn't have this opportunity otherwise. They just wouldn't have this opportunity. So to be in Brazil, nobody would have this opportunity. I wouldn't have this
It's a
opportunity.
success. It's going to carry the rest of their life.
Yeah, and it's sponsored by Coca-Cola, valued at $90,000. So
Wow.
look for them tomorrow. Holding the United
We'll keep
States
our eye
flag.
on it, and
Yeah.
hopefully a lot of other people.
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the reminder. I owe you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aaron, okay? And it looks like we have a lot of people who have come down to join us in our first show, Peter, and we have our new city manager and our chief of police who are going to join us.
I know, Facebook, is that where you know me from? 'Cause
I don't really know who I friended on Facebook and who I have.
that's why I was looking. That may be.
No, it's on mutual.
So Peter
Greg and
I was looking forward to meeting you. Have a seat.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you. Yes.
Good to see you.
Will you be joining us? You got the face for the camera.
I think I'm just using
This one, we requested another chair.
It's one of these speeches,
You wanna join us? I feel like a panel. Maybe you're interviewing me. This is
So our food is waiting on the.
Oh, so there's a time frame
Just
on
a
it.
nice quiet.
Okay, I don't want to please you, Chief William. There's no way I want to get on your bad side. If these eggs are cold, this is not a good thing. Oh, so thank you so much for joining the show. And you are the new city manager of Oxnard. And I've seen pictures of you and saw you last night. And so would you give the audience your name and just a little bit of your background?
Sure. Greg Nyhoff. I've been on the job now for 3 weeks, my 4th week. Come from Modesto. been in the city management business for over 20 years. And I'll just say this too, I worked really hard at Oxnard before I came here, before I actually put in my application and love this community. So my wife and I, we will be officially moving here in July, and we'll have a home. And we're just excited. I'm excited to serve the community. I'm excited about building trust back in our organization and really just trying to align the community better as far as moving forward. And I know that the past has had issues, and I'm just excited about living here and working here.
Well, we're real excited about having
Thank
you
you.
here. This is lots of opportunities, and I'm glad you're
Yes.
here. Now, Chief, I've been looking forward to meeting you. I've interviewed Oprah Winfrey, and I was not excited about meeting you. You don't believe me, but it's just the truth. Now, and then previous thing that you saw me, your face kind of concerned me, but I've been cleared with the city fingerprinted, so I'm good to go. But I think that's maybe where you saw my face.
Yes.
But, you know, again, there's so much to know about you. Tell us a little bit about your background. I mean, you are an inspiration to a class of women empowered. I mean, you're in a position that a lot of people, a lot of women are going to be in your position. Tell us a little bit about your background and how you turned out this way.
So I'll make it the Reader's Digest version. First and foremost, all I ever wanted to do was come in and do my job, be a police chief, work with the community, work with a great set of people at the police department as well as the rest of the city. 22 years with Phoenix PD, retired there as an assistant chief. Took a step out on faith, applied for this job. Next thing you know, I have this job. I get to meet folks like Bob Allen. Hi, Bob, behind the camera, just so you know. But this was always just a way to get back to the community, a way not to have the same job and the same operations day after day after day. Our agency and the people in our agency are an amazing group of people who literally just want to go out and do the best job that they can. We've had our share of challenges, but frankly, we are a very good agency with excellent people, and I'm sure Mr. Hopkins did the same thing. We have a group of city employees who really want to make a difference. You know, you talk a little bit about being an inspiration to people. I don't know if that's what I aspire to do. I do know that people look at a female police chief and say, holy smokes, I never thought I'd see that in my lifetime. So I do carry a lot of responsibility in that regard. But very welcoming of that responsibility, and the community's been amazing.
Yeah, and you know, just to clarify, there are 11-year-old females who look at you and go, I could do that.
Right.
And you know,
that's fortunate, that's a blessing, it's a
Yeah.
tremendous responsibility. But if I can make some young girl or lady think that maybe she can be a police officer, Lord knows we're looking for officer candidates. So ladies, please apply. And actually, frankly, anyone who wants to be a police officer, we're always recruiting, and we're looking for folks who are willing to give their all to the city.
I love it. So I'm going to say she's humble too. So no, this is one more question for you. Who's been the person who's been the most inspiring in your life?
So I would definitely say my mother. So raised by a single mom, I never placed limitations on what I could be when I grew up. But again, I stand on the shoulders of many women who before me blazed the trails, and obviously supported by a lot of male counterparts. So we're blessed and fortunate in that regard.
Well, you answered the question pretty darn well. You've done this before. And tell me about yourself. I mean, now you're an assistant chief of police. Is that the term?
That's right. I'm one of two assistant chiefs. I'm also known as one of the counterparts.
Okay.
I've been here for 20 years. I started off as a police officer in 1993. Worked my way up to where I am now. I've been an assistant chief since 2006. We have two assistant chiefs in our department, and basically second in command at the agency.
So just a clarification,
Sure.
Jason Benita is assistant chief, but I also have Scott Whitney as an assistant chief.
All right.
Jason's responsibilities are over field services, which is patrol, our special assignment unit, our dispatch center,
Code compliance, SWAT, special enforcement, traffic. It's a large portion of the department with about 165 officers assigned to it. So large portion of the department. Always a lot of things going on.
As the police chief, it's really nice to have a good balance of two assistant chiefs who complement leadership style, thought process. We're definitely a consensus building team where we sit and talk through issues and make decisions in the best interest of the city as a conglomerate group.
That's impressive. So I want to ask this question to the two of you, saying, what support can the city of Oxnard lend to the police staff, and especially the leadership of the police staff? I'll ask you that separately, because you don't have a uniform on, so can I ask you that?
So
What
I
support
will,
would you guys
let
need?
me answer the question by saying that the city has always been supportive of its police
Excellent.
department.
Okay.
We are one piece of the big pie called the city of Oxnard. So when we talk about support, that support is overreaching and ingrained throughout the city. So continue to be the partnership and team that we've been for years and years and years. I think supporting the police department is supporting parks, is supporting the streets. We're all one component. So that would be my response, and let's just continue the same support that the city's been giving us.
Okay. It's kind of hard to go one up on your leadership, but can you either build on that?
Well, let me approach it from a different angle.
Okay.
When you said city,
Okay.
she was referring to the city itself. When we talk about the community, when I say city,
All right.
you know, this year we're seeing a lot of challenges in terms of with realignment and some other issues going on, is that we want to try to address the crime rate. One thing that we need the city to do for us is we want to engage the neighborhoods back to where they were in the mid-90s. Mid-90s, when crime was a bit higher than it is now, and we've had a 20-year reduction in crime consistently. Until the past couple of years, we've started to see some upticks. But what we need, and what we're really trying to promote, is community engagement, reforming the neighborhoods into communicating groups. And we really believe that neighborhoods that communicate with each other are safer neighborhoods. We saw in the late 90s and the early 2000s that people don't know the people across the street from them. And because of that, they're not in a position to report things that are unusual or suspicious. So what I would ask is that the community really consider a couple things. Getting involved in things like Nextdoor.com, for example. We just launched Nextdoor.com Oxnard a few months ago. And I checked this morning, our membership is increasing steadily. We're up to over 2,500 residents now, have formed neighborhoods that are interdependent, that communicate amongst themselves. And doing so, we're able to feed them information about crime on a regular basis. And if they're communicating with each other, they're more likely to call us. And they're more likely to give us things that we can use. So a neighborhood that knows each other, where the neighbors know each other, is a safer place.
It's amazing using traditional neighborhood connections with technology.
Very basic concept, partnered with social media.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing that. And for you, Mr. City Manager, what kind of support do you think you need to really, I want to say, maybe have some fun with your job, enjoy your job, and just do your job more effectively? Can I ask that?
Sure, you can. Sure you can.
Thank you for your permission to ask.
I was very long. If I ever, happy to be your city manager with the police department and a chief and assistant chief like this. I mean, these are the things that I look at before I come here, knowing that, seeing what they're doing and being able to join and how do I assist that. So let me just say to you, I have been so welcomed in this community. My wife and I held big welcoming. There were 200 some people there. And so going to council meetings, just people have been so welcoming and engaging to me, and I want to say thank you to this community because it made you feel like you're at home within the first couple of weeks you actually arrived here. So I wanted to say that. Now, for the other side of it, this partnership that these two just spoke of when it came to community and city, they need to really mesh together. So I believe these neighborhoods are critically important, not just for the police side, but that's very important. They're doing crime mapping now, so that's out online. So people can see if they get together and take a look at that crime mapping and say, hey, this happened 2 blocks away, did they see anything? The more you mesh that in, the more you see, the more you're able to partner with our police department to make safer communities. But it can grow. I'd like to see the religious community, the nonprofit community, the business community. I'm looking for champions within my organization to reach out and say, how do we partner? How do we align? How do we align to see success? And then the community is going to want to come forward with me and with the city, with the council. And I just think we'll see a movement forward. I like to think there's one thing in Modesto where I got to do, it was called Love Modesto Day. And it just, everybody came together. The Chamber of Commerce, there was a Christian ministry network of multiple churches, the city, police department, everybody came together for a day there working 500, 1,000 people spread throughout the community to do good. And it's kind of like this show right here.
Yeah.
It's to talk about the good.
Yes,
That
exactly.
Oxnard has. And so those are just steps I want to see us take as an organization to be really good partners in community and kind of set forth programs that people can engage in and show them if you do this, we can do this with you, and then we'll move together as an entire community. And you know, what you can do, for me, it's really important as I came here that we haven't, I couldn't see looking at Oxnard that there's a real focus, prioritization of what we want as a community. A lot of people have passion, a lot of passion here. It's exciting,
It is.
but it's a lot of different directions, and when it's in different directions, you never come together and really accomplish a lot. So there's strategic planning processes. We're gonna do the budget, we're gonna do community input, we're gonna create a plan together with the community of the city, attach the budget to that, and then move forward together. And that's gonna happen here in the next 6 months with the city council, with the staff and community. So we're excited, I'm excited about it. I'm happy to be here.
It's exciting because, in my view, Oxnard is such a diverse community. And you can look at diversity as a real challenge or a power. And I'm one of these guys who believes that the United States is power is the diversity. And because I'm a PR guy, perception can sometimes be more important than the fact. The fact is Oxnard is an awesome place, and we just need to change the perception. And I'm hoping, as a result of you contributing to this, which I thank you, we're going in the right direction. So, thank you so much.
Unleash the power.
Unleash the power. Really
Maybe
speaking.
that's our-
Go get 'em.
Unleash the power.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
No, was that okay? Was that, okay, let's get to breakfast now.
Yeah, that's cinnamon roll.
Okay, that's a wrap.
They're hungry.
Nice to see you again. So you figured out yourself, I'm clerk of the sheriff department. You should have seen your face when you looked at the letter. I should see you. Pleasure meeting you. Let's get some stuff done.
Well, we have one more, Peter.
The big man.
The owner of Tomas's.
Sit down. Let's have a seat.
You guys are.
That's for the pressure. She gives me I'm breakfast. And I want that to go.
Yeah.
Let's go. I'm like, my heart is just pounding.
Good.
Good. Exciting interview. Thanks so much. I understand you're one of the founding starts of the KUITH.
No, maybe my dad is, but no, we've
Which is
had,
the Tomas organization.
we've had a lot of, they use the place a lot. So.
Yeah, and I just want it to be something that benefits you. People are coming in and buying your food, eating food, enjoying it, and telling them they're good.
Brand awareness, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna have breakfast afterwards
Yeah.
here if I get him so. Yeah, so let's get this going. So that's, I don't know if you saw that, but we had the chief of police, assistant chief of police, and the city manager.
They have a big responsibility.
Thank you. Yeah.
They have a very important job, and you know, it's a big city. I mean, 200,000 plus people. That's big.
We talked about, especially the diversity of this city is just incredible. I mean, when you think about the genders, the cultural differences, the generational differences we have, the economical income differences we have here, the geographical distance, it's just kind of every dimension is there. And everybody's got viewpoints. And that's trying to get on the same page. That's power once you reach that.
Right.
Okay.
Well, we're still live.
We
I mean,
are?
yeah. Oh, I just moved to get it a little closer.
Okay. Well, you know, we had a great conversation just now.
Well, did you talk about your dad and how long he's been in the community, the
Not yet.
family?
So we did a little, behind the scenes. Usually people do that at the end with, the deleted clips, but this is a part of it. But
Okay.
this is Tomas Garcia. You're a second generation, third generation?
Born here, but first generation.
Okay.
My parents immigrated here. My dad was probably like 9 years old. My mom was probably around that. They met in high school, and we were the first generation.
And here you are.
Here we are.
And you are the owner of the the Tomas Cafe.
Yes, yeah, Tomas Cafe opened in February 2001, and we've been here ever since in downtown.
Well, during my first interview, I'm really having a hard time concentrating because it smells so good. I'm having a hard time focusing. But tell us about your dad. That was one of the things.
So my dad, my dad's a great man. He's my father. He's a hardworking man. He's come from basically from the fields, and he's learned. He went to the army. He toured in Germany, and then he came back to the United States as a young man, and basically he wanted to help out the community. He saw the need that the Hispanic was going to grow tremendously in this county, so he wanted to do something obviously that benefited them, that service that they needed, and that's where funeral industry grabbed him, and he ran with it, and he opened his own funeral home in 1978. So before that, he was working with Conrad and Comer here on C Street and various other places like in LA. He decided he wanted to stay here in Oxnard, and he opened Garcia Mortuary in 1978. So a tremendous place for the community. I think it's more than everybody has been there at one point or another, and so it's a very important place for them.
Brothers, sisters, anybody?
Yeah, my
pick on you or?
No. As far as where I fit into the funeral home, because I graduated high school in '97, Oxnard High, and then I helped my father out for about 2-3 years, and then I really didn't see myself fitting in the funeral home. I still help them out from time to time, but my brothers and sisters are there, and pretty much they take care of everything. I mean, mother and father, and they run the show. So my father, he bought this building here across from the mortuary in like '98, and basically I was in charge of '99. Basically in charge of remodeling it. We had no idea what we wanted in the beginning. Just clean it up, make it, rent it out, put some offices, clean up the space, and then me and him were talking one day out in front of the mortuary, and he said, why don't we do like a little coffee house, a place where people could drink coffee, from the funeral home or wherever, because ideally, back then, there was really nothing really open in downtown. People were in this area, and if you were here at night, there was really nothing open other than Cinco Lindo, or, you had Pilares right here, very well-known places. You had South Mexican Inn, you had, Otani's.
Which is closed now, right?
Yeah, they're closed. Cinco Lindo, they're more like a bar, so a lot of things have changed. Their time has really gone from when they were here strong. But so that's where the idea came from, just for us to provide service for the people across the street. And, so we kind of evolved from that. We've from a coffee house to a full-on restaurant. We serve breakfast and lunch now.
And you have executive suites here, or?
Well, there's a couple offices for the funeral home, and then we rent out a space to Adam Casillas. He does a Latino Expo. Mm-hmm. He's really our only tenant in this building. And other than that, I have an office here. And other than that, we have a space here, which will soon convert, make it larger to hold about 100 people sitting. Mm-hmm. Right now, it's about 30, 40, but we're gonna make this into even a bigger space just to accommodate more people, more events. And so we're just slowly growing and listening to the people and just seeing what we could do, so.
Well, we were ecstatic doing this is the pilot show of Good Morning Oxnard.
Really? Awesome.
So it'll always be nice. And
yes.
Actually, when I first started the KDTV.com, this was the Wednesday morning meetings for the Hispanic BNI.
Yes.
And I used to basically come down with Pablo Ortiz and Carlos Rodriguez.
Awesome group. Best group
Yep. Yep. So it has a lot of history to it.
Yes.
Do you still any plans of your own family, or have a family of your own right now, or?
Right now, I'm 35 and I'm single, and I guess you could say I'm married to the business, but
I'm sure there's a line of people, so we'll
down the line.
We'll do the screening for you, okay?
Yes.
The background check and everything. But what do you envision for the restaurant? Do you envision just making it bigger, better?
I envision for the restaurant, basically extend my hours. Right now we're just 7 to 2 o'clock, but extend my hours into the evening. Most likely offer some sort of beer and wine, do some dinner menu, and then we, you know, make the space larger so we could either, you know, as one restaurant, make it, you know, into one big restaurant, that maybe sits maybe 150 people, that's down the line, but a lot of things have to come before that, but yeah, that's ultimately like, you know, use the whole space, you know?
Yeah.
And then once people see that, I'm pretty sure they'll start coming in, because, you know, we already have a good breakfast crowd, so, you know, the food is excellent, so it's natural for them to come for dinner, we'll start with them. And, so, I mean, yeah, just grow from there. I mean, second locations, maybe down the line, we're here on 8th Street. Yeah, they say location is, you know, is always a good thing, so
Yeah.
we can find another space, why not, you know?
So it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
Eventually dinner, yeah,
Okay.
we just breakfast and lunch right now, so.
Now, everybody has like a signature, you know, what would you say the signature?
Our signature dish, I mean, we have a lot of great dishes that
Yeah,
people
sure,
love, but
yeah.
one thing that we do well here is chilaquiles. So basically fried tortilla chips, make them fresh, toss them in some sauce, an egg, and then we have some queso fresco, rice and beans. And we actually got featured, I don't know if I should say this, but on NBC morning news on the weekend edition they had about 3 years ago now. And Carl Bell, a friend of mine, he comes in here and he's put us on his show. So
Wow.
we made breakfast for him, and so all of LA sauce, and then, you know, sauce make that plate. It is a good plate.
Now,
It's-
I've already envisioned it, and I'm
Yeah.
salivating, so you got the effect way you presented it.
It's a great plate. So, I mean, we have omelets and waffles and pancakes, and we try to emphasize locally grown products. We make fresh squeezed orange juice from oranges and
Amazing.
Fillmore, and, you know, we sell local honey. So, you know, emphasis is on local products, because we're lucky to live here in Oxnard, and we have so much available to us as far as produce and stuff like that.
Well, I tell you, you do it all. I'm impressed. You know, there are people who are, you know, my age, 50, or something, that have not accomplished what you have. Just the restaurant, the ports of family, the leadership, the marketing type thing, your ability to interview like a pro. You've done this before. I just want to thank you for
Thank you
being
very
part of
much.
this interview,
Yes.
and I just hope it reaps you back many blessings and everything you look for.
Likewise,
So thank you very
Yes,
much.
sir. Appreciate that. Thank you.
And that is going to conclude our first pilot episode,
I'd
Peter.
like to say good morning, Oxnard.
Good morning, Oxnard.